Hi everyone, it's Karen Hooley. I'm so glad to be back this week. Last week was a little nuts on Wednesday and I was fighting with my camera and I had a couple of things due. So I decided to not do our crochet coffee and chat. I'm sorry I didn't give you guys any warning. I just fought with it. So it was just one of those days. But I'm glad to be back. And fortunately, between the last time I saw you guys and today, I got everything fixed. And I got a lot of work done behind the scenes. So I'm glad to be here. And I have a few things to share with you today. If you're here for to watch, make sure you say hello in the chat. And let me know who you are and where you're watching from. If what state or country. You don't have to tell me your exact location. But I wanted to get started by showing you guys something that I'm kind of excited about. We just sent these out last week. I think I've mentioned before that my daughter is engaged, and so I have to show. That's my new future son-in-law and my daughter. A lot of you who've been following me for a long time have watched Cassie grow up. She was one of my first models for my kids' designs way back in the early 2000s. And even she was 6 months old when I sold my very first design to a magazine. So she's now 22 years old and getting married. So I had to share that. She's getting married in September of 2021. And we just sent those out to all our family and friends who were invited to the wedding. So I'm kind of excited. These things are starting to come together with that. So that's where I am with our busyness in our personal life. I also want to share that, and I don't have a picture to show you, but our house, a lot of you know we've moved across the state to the Tri-Cities area, and we're building a house. My current office is a rental, in a rental. And our house, we got to see it this weekend, and they have the drywall up, and it's actually this week they are texturing and painting the interior. So next week they should be starting to put in the cabinets and the flooring and stuff. So we are so excited. They are actually talking about moving up our close date. So we might be moving a little sooner than later. So my whole life is kind of like in the air right now. The only thing that's keeping me grounded in the world is my business, my crocheting, and working on projects and all the other stuff. I'll talk about that in a second. But crochet has like totally been my savior, because it takes my mind off of all of the moving pieces of our lives right now. And I have to focus. So I've been working on some design work behind the scenes. I haven't been posting a lot because some of it is very secret and I can't release it until, I can't even tease it right now. So I can't show those, but I can't show this. So I'm going to show this first, and then we're going to talk about what's new over here. But hi, Juanita. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I'm going to put a note to myself in my calendar for next week while I'm thinking about it to print out a picture so you guys can see. I can't spell. So you can see a picture of what the house looks like, and show you where my new studio is going to be and stuff. I'm really excited. It's my new studio is going to be a little smaller than what I had before, but with the walk-in closet, the amount of space is going to be about the same. So I'm really excited to have a whole new studio. Plus, we have an extra bedroom where I can actually do some filming and stuff like that as well, and use for blocking when I don't have family staying with us. So that's really cool. I'm going to put, okay, so I have my note there to myself. Okay. Okay, so let me show you a project. I think I showed you the swatch before that I was working on. This is Emma's spectacular, let me make sure I've got the name right. It's Emma's Yarn, Simply Spectacular DK. And it's in the color Gypsy Market. I don't know if that's, on my screen it's showing backwards. I don't know if it's showing backwards on yours, but let me see. Well, there we go, Emma's Yarn. So, and this is Gypsy Market colorway. And I think I showed you the swatch. This is a stitch that I call the knitted single stitch. It's actually, if you've ever heard of the book Camel Crochet, it was released, oh gosh, in 1990s, I believe, maybe the late 80s. Camel Crochet. It was just a little leaflet, pink. If I had the book out of storage, I would show it to you, but it's currently in storage right now. It's a little pink book that had 6 different stitches in it and combinations of using the stitches. And it was a technique that was developed, or the author, Naka Pillman, I think was her name. I know she is now deceased, but another company bought those books and they trademarked all the names. But there was Naka is her first name. I think it's Pillman is her last name. She went to Afghanistan actually and found these stitches, and they're all single crochet. It's just a matter of how you place the stitches. And I actually released a book with Annie's Attic back in like 2010, I want to say, called Savvy Single Crochet. And in order to be able to produce that book and the patterns in it, because the names of the stitches were trademarked, you cannot trademark or copyright how the stitches are made, but you can copyright what they're called. So because the whole camel crochet thing is trademarked, I had to rename all of my stitches, all of the stitches. So if you have that book or want to get that book, it's out of print right now. Annie's, I know I've seen it on Amazon, and I know that it's been up and down on eBay too. But it's called Savvy Single Crochet, released by Annie's Attic. But this is one of the stitches, and it looks almost like stockinette in a way. It's all in how you put the stitches together. But this is one of the things that my survey that I did earlier this year told me, is that everybody wanted one skein projects. So I'm trying to throw in a couple one skein projects in for my releases next year. And this one I'm hoping to release in January or February, actually. And it's going to be a hat. And I've actually sized it. I don't know if this is going to work. I had to do it flat because of the type of stitch that I'm using. But it's going to be a beanie style hat, and it's going to have the option of putting a pom-pom or not on it. I have to work this stitch flat in order for it to get the look of how the stitch comes out. If I worked it in the round, because of the way I insert the stitches, you won't get those beautiful V's that you see right here. And when I tried working it in the round, it kind of looks similar, but the weird part of it was because of the way single crochets are made and the way they look on the front and the back, it didn't give the fabric the same cushiness, and it didn't give it the same look. It was similar, but it was not quite the same. So it is going to be a seamed hat, but because it's a one skein project, and I want it to be a simple project that you're learning a new stitch, but not necessarily a whole new technique, especially for beginners. I am not going to taper the top of the hat. I'm going to use a cinch. That way you have the choice of either sewing it up yourself, or you can add the pom-pom with a button or something like that, or you could do it either way. You can cinch it up in such a way that you can add the pom-pom, because a lot of those, especially if you use those fuzzy pom-poms that you can buy at like Michael's or online. I know a lot of people, there's higher end ones and lower end ones. But if you want to put a pom-pom on it, you can make it removable. I know a lot of people like that too. So I'm really excited about how this is it's turning out. It's really, I wish I could have you guys feel it through the computer. It's really, because it's not knitting, it's crochet, and it's single crochet. It's denser than knitting, and so it's got a lot of squish, and I'm using a DK, so that gives it squish too. But what I really love about these stitches is that regular single crochet doesn't stretch real well, but with this one, I can pull. I mean, I can give this all the negative ease of, so that it'll stretch. I'm designing this with 2 inches of negative ease just so that the stitches can stretch. And I'm very excited about how it's turning out. I haven't decided if I'm going to put a brim on it or not. Part of it's going to be determined on how much yarn I have left when I get to the length that I want, because this is a one skein project. But also, I kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see, this is the bottom. I used a foundation single crochet, and I kind of just like the way that looks at the bottom, kind of unfinished. It just gives it a different look. I thought about maybe even doing a reverse single crochet on the bottom just to give it some character, but I kind of almost like the way it looks without it. So that is to be determined. So that's the one project I can show you because it's for my own line, and I want to show that to you guys. Anybody? What have you guys been working on? I have a lot of things to share, but I thought I would ask what you guys are working on, how things are going. Are you getting ready for Christmas or the holidays? Are you making gifts this year? I'm making socks for my family, or at least my son. I've got my son's on the needles right now. I didn't bring him in here, but I do have his on the needles. I'm also finishing up my sweater. I think last week, or did I talk to you? No, I didn't talk to you guys. Yes, it could be open for a ponytail or bun too. Yes, and that's another option. That's another reason why I'm doing the cinch. And I'm going to do it the cinch in such a way that it's tucked inside. So if you don't want something on the outside like a bow or string, it's in the inside of the hat. So you have the option of putting it in the inside of the hat. So yes, definitely, Juanita. What was I saying? Oh, I showed you my sweater a few weeks ago. I don't know if, I can't remember if it happened after my last, live video, but my cat decided to jump in my lap while I was knitting, and I was 2 inches from, or actually less than an inch from getting to the 1.5 inch rib at the bottom of the body of the sweater. And she jumped in my lap, and her claw got caught and pulled the stitch in the middle of the body. And I had to rip out 10 inches of the sweater. Unfortunately, it wasn't any of the color work. It was just the stockinette below the color work. Oh my gosh. I almost cried. It was so bad. I tried to fix it, and it wasn't anything to fix. So I had to put a lifeline in. If you're a knitter, you know what I mean by putting a lifeline in, so that when I rip things out, I don't have to necessarily put the needles in. I put thread or yarn in there to hold the row of stitches I want to start at, and then I put my needles back in and start knitting again. And I'm within about an inch of where I was now. It was just so frustrating that I didn't knit on it as much as I should have. But I'm almost to the ribbing again. So hopefully next week, or actually I'm hoping this weekend, I'll be able to start the sleeves on that, because I really want to wear it for Thanksgiving, and I really want to be able to show you something more than what it was before. Let me see here. Brat's mom, I'm so sorry you don't have anybody to make anything for it this year. That's hard. And for me, actually, it's just my family that I do it for, my kids and my husband usually, and it's just usually socks. The time I make it for other people is when my nieces and nephews are having babies. And oh shoot, let me see if I can find it on my phone. You just reminded me. My nephew had a little baby in September. Let me see if I can find the picture. Oh, there he is. I actually made this for his oldest cousin a couple years ago, but no one ever sent me pictures, and it's kind of passed down through the family. My sister-in-law asked if I would make the first grandchild a very hungry caterpillar, what do they call them? Little cocoon pod things. So I made one for Kinsley, who's the oldest grandchild, and she wore it, and then her son or her brother Cade wore it, and then Ryder was just born in September, and so it was his first Halloween, and so I don't know if you guys can see that without, there we go. That's Ryder, and so I made that for him. Well, it's kind of the family thing that gets passed down. My sister-in-law is a teacher, and and she loves that book. So, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Juanita, I just finished spinning a rainbow color skein, now working on a neutral color one. Oh, yay. Did you post those on Instagram, Juanita? I'm just curious because I'd love to see those, or at least the rainbow one if you just finished it. I'm sure you'll probably post it at some point if you haven't already. Oh, rainbow mandala. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look for those, Juanita, because your spinning so inspires me. It's crazy how inspired I get when I see your spinning. Yes, and yes, I'm kind of a proud great aunt these days. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 great nieces and nephews now. When that's the youngest I just showed you. He was just born, so I'm kind of a proud great aunt. So anybody else working on anything they want to share or talk about before I launch into all the new stuff or the craziness that's going on around here? Oh, you're welcome, Juanita. I'm telling you, you really do inspire me. And as soon as I get my sweater done and the socks done, I know I'm pulling out my spinning wheel, and I need to start working on it. Especially since I ordered, I did the Kickstarter for the electric eel wheel 6. I have a 5.2, and when I saw the 6 was coming out, I said I have to have that. So I need to get going on my spinning again before it gets here in February. Okay, well, okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple things. First of all, if you're on my newsletter, you might have seen that I have released the Mystery Crochet Along shawl. It's called End of Summer, based on all the feedback I got from my all the people doing the actual crochet along. They all have told me that they really think it should be named End of Summer. So that's what it's called. I know it's kind of weird to release a pattern called End of Summer in November, but it's what everybody asked me to do. So that's what I did. If you were part of the crochet along and purchased the entry registration into the crochet along, you should have received a link from me via email to download the final pattern. If you did and did not download it within 14 days, let me know and I can resend it to you. If you've got it, great. But I know that a few people didn't download it. So if you're watching this and you went, aha, I didn't get it, just send me a note via my website, KarenHooley.com, and I will make sure it gets resent to you so that you can actually download the pattern, because that's part of the deal with the Mystery Crochet Along is you get the final pattern. So that just got released, and if you're on my newsletter, you got a discount on it. If you weren't part of the Mystery Crochet Along, you'll get 25% off the pattern. So, and that's good till next week. And that is probably, there's one other pattern that could very well be released next month, but it's part of a bigger project, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to release it yet. So I think that End of Summer is my last pattern for the year. I won't have a new pattern being released until January 1st. And again, if you're a newsletter subscriber, my newsletter subscribers and anybody who subscribes during 2021 will get a brand new free pattern that I can't tell you what it is yet. Well, first of all, I don't have it. It's in photography right now. But secondly, I like it to be a surprise on January 1st. You'll get if you're on my newsletter, you'll get an email with a link to download. And if you're not, if someone subscribes can't talk today, January 1st or later until December 31st of 2021, that'll be their free gift for joining my newsletter. So it's one of the perks. Every single year you get a free pattern from me. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, I would love to have you subscribe, and you'll get this year's free pattern, which is called Limitless, and you'll get next year's on January 1st. Let's see, Brat's mom, I'm almost finished with a pet blankie pad done in Catherine's. Yes, you mentioned you were going to be working on that. I'd love to see that, what it looks like. What colors are you using, Linda, for that? I need to make one for my cat. I mentioned this before? She suddenly decided she likes blankets, and my son made her a felted blanket. Gosh, probably, she's 13, so probably at least 12 years ago. I know they were still basically kittens, and he crocheted it for her. I meant, don't say anything that I said anything, because he won't admit that he actually crochets sometimes. But she's been using it all of a sudden, and it is getting torn up. So I just threw it in the washer this weekend, and it's okay, but it's on its last leg. It's one of those things that, they need to be replaced every once in a while. Okay, so we talked about the new pattern, and along with the newsletter, it's all scraps. Oh, white, blues, purples, pink. Oh, cool. See, that's what I want to do too, Linda. I think I mentioned this before, that I have a whole bunch of scraps that I want to do a blanket for. So, or use in a blanket. So, maybe after I get everything done, because that's on my list. I keep a list of all the projects that I want to do, and then every once in a while I'll kind of rearrange it because I have deadlines, or this is happening, that's happening. So 2021, because my daughter's getting married, is going to be a little bit different as far as how things go. Because I have, in January we'll probably be moving, and then we have a wedding, and so I probably won't be releasing things. I can tell you for sure, I definitely won't be releasing a full-length book in 2021. It'll be 2022 before my next full-length book comes out, just because of the wedding. There's just too much to do. But I am going to do other little projects here and there, and more, a few pattern releases. I have 4 that are definite pattern releases for next year. This one's number 5. I'm trying to decide what number 6 is going to be, because I think I've mentioned I'm focusing on my course platform, which is another thing I want to talk about. But first, let me talk about the newsletter. If you're a subscriber to the newsletter, currently it's been every Friday. I've been sending out newsletters, and then when I have a new pattern release, it comes out on a Tuesday, or a new book release is always on Tuesday. Okay, the pattern releases and the book releases are going to be the same. Whenever they're going to be released, it's always going to be on a Tuesday. But I'm decided to go back to my newsletter being twice a month instead of every week. It'll still be Friday. You'll still get it in your mailbox sometime after 6 a.m. Pacific time. That I'm finding with all the little things that I have going on right now in my life, and it may change after we move into the new house, but there's a lot of little things right now that we've got to deal with the house itself, ordering appliances and getting flooring, because we have to, because I'm an asthmatic and I have to have as little carpet as you can, and the builder does not do laminate flooring on the second story. We have to put it in ourselves before we move in. So it's a lot of stuff. So I've decided to go twice a month. I'm going to try to do it the way I did it in the past. I've done a newsy one at the beginning of the month, and then the third Friday of the month I did like an educational one, and I'm going to try to do that again. It's been rough writing educational stuff, because a lot of the things that you guys have asked for need a lot of photography or a video or something, and I just don't have the space right now to do a really involved one. I can do little videos, and I'm going to be working on my course platform with little videos that are going to go for little things. But to do the blog posts that you guys are asking me for, or the educational pieces, I might have to wait on those until I get into a space where I have more room. So just so you guys know. So that's going to be happening. And I'm hoping that I go back to an every week thing, maybe after the wedding, maybe in 2022. But for right now, I think just based on how my stress levels have been, I think it's time to do that. And then I already mentioned, I have a little list here of things I want to tell you guys about so I don't forget. I mentioned new book. I am actually working on that at the moment. I have 3 pieces complete and blocked. 2 of them are already in tech editing. The 3rd is currently on the blocking board. I probably pull it off today and it'll go to tech editing as soon as it's off the blocking board. And then I have number 4 in my head. I know what it's going to be. I have it drawn out. I have the yarn. I just have to wind the yarn and get started on it. But I want to get this hat done first before I start that one. This book, I'm not going to tell you much more about it other than it does, again, have a specific theme, just like all my books do. And this time, I'm hoping to have more than 12 projects in it. I have 14 ideas already in my book of ideas for the book. And there's like 3 or 4 more that I am tinkering with. So I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere around 15. And if the ideas keep flowing like they do, it might be closer to 20 projects in this book. So it'll be a little bit bigger book. So when I am ready to tell you guys more about it, I will. You might see little teasers on social media, but I'm not going to be showing the projects until I'm ready to announce what the book is and when it's going to be released. So you might see the yarn, or you might see, a little bit of a pattern stitch or something, but that's all you're going to see. So just a little teaser, but I want you guys to know that there is another book coming, and there is going to be an ebook coming in 2021. I released in September Simply Baby Afghans. If you haven't gotten that, it's available on my website or on all of the online retailers, Amazon, Apple, all those. It's a digital only book. And it's for baby Afghans that I re-released from a pattern book that I self-published back in 2002. So people have been asking for those patterns, so I re-released them. And I'm hoping March, it's in graphic layout right now. So I'm hoping either March or April, I'll be able to release the 2nd book in the series, which is called Simply Blankets. And it's a remake of all of my full-size Afghans, and that's a book of 6 full-size Afghans that'll be released early next year. So be watching for that. I don't have a cover yet, but I can tell you what the title of the book is. And it will also be a digital book. So there's so few patterns in this, it's not cost effective to do a print version. I am working with my graphic artist though for the 2nd one to maybe offer a limited edition, like leaflet style book of these patterns. So we're talking about that, but I can't guarantee it, but it's definitely digital. Brat's mom says, I don't know how you do all that. It's called calendars, lists, iPhone there I can write things down on. That's my life. If it's not written down, it doesn't get done. That's why I always tell everybody, shoot me an email. So even here, if I say we're talking about something and I say, shoot me an email on my website, it's because there's so much stuff going on. I need a visual, and that's why I'm a paper organizer, calendar. I have this. This is my life is in this. So, and I have a new one for next year. So already started. So that's how I do it. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? Oh, this is really exciting. Now, some of you may have known about this, but I didn't know about it till yesterday, and I did a lot of recon yesterday afternoon on this, and I'm going to go forward with this. Some of you who are here watching are test crocheters for me. You test my crochet projects and stuff, and those of you who have tested for me know that I just took down my forum for my crochet testers because I just got a lot of spam and hacking into the forum, and it's just not worth it for me to sit there and try to fight that. But yesterday I found out about a new website called Yarn Pond. I'm going to type it in here for you guys. It's called yarnpond.com, actually. If you go to yarnpond.com, it is an actual website that was created by a knitter, I think she is. She might be a crocheter too, in Sweden. And it's purposely for designers and test crocheters and sample knitters and crocheters and tech editors, where I can post a crochet test for a project, and I can have people apply, and it's starting to take off. I mean, I've talked to a couple designers who use it, and it's really starting to take off. So I looked around, and I did start my own testing pool in there. So if you are one of my crocheters, I'm going to give you my my link here too. If you want to sign up for my testing pool, I'm going to have. I really want those of you who have tested for me before to sign up and then join my pool. So if you use that link will get you to my pool, and you can join my pool. And I'll be sending an email out to all my testers, but I literally just found out about this. And I just wanted to let everybody know who watches this video, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later, this is actually really cool. As a designer, I do have to pay for each test that I do, but the cost of it is nominal compared to the value I'm getting of having a secure place where my testers can test my patterns, give me feedback, send me pictures. I don't have to worry about hackers, and and I can run multiple tests, like when I start testing the patterns in my book, and I can have them all completely separate so that I can focus on, if I'm focusing on project 1 today, I can deal with all whatever's going on with project 1, and I can separate it. And then afterwards, I can, you guys can all talk to each other. I can talk to you guys, but just the fact that everything that, like for a book, can be behind the scenes. I don't have to have an open Ravelry forum where anybody can see where my projects are, because whenever I do a book, I don't want to do sneak peeks until I'm ready to do sneak peeks. There's one of the things I've been burned on in the 22 years in the business is that if I sneak peek projects too soon, I've had people undercut me and steal my idea and release it before mine is released. So that's why a lot of times, especially for the testers, when I say don't share it, don't bring it into public, don't bring it to a guild meeting, don't wear it when it's done until the book's released, that kind of thing. That's the reason why. So, but this gives me a safe space for those kinds of projects. Not everything is like that. I mean, like this hat project, I don't mind sharing it right now because, it's just a very simple hat. But it's something that I think I want people to get excited about. And when I'm ready to sneak peek the book, I will tell all my stitchers, yeah, you can start sneak peeking little parts of your whatever it is you're working on. I'm not even going to tell you what the projects are. So, but Yarn Pond is really cool. And what's nice for the testers, the people who are actually doing the testing, it's totally free. So you can sign up and become a tester. And you won't have to be just in my pool. You can test for other people. And I've had a lot of my crochet testers come to me and say, hey, your projects are so unevenly spaced. I'd like to be able to test in between your projects, So here's your chance. Here's a place where you can actually find all the projects to test. They are linked with Ravelry. So if you test for people on Ravelry and they aren't on there, you might want to tell them that this is a spot for them, that they can find more testers this way. It's relatively new. I think it's maybe a year or 2 years old. And like I said, I had never heard about it until yesterday from another designer, and I did the research. So I'm gonna use it. I already have a test kind of queued up. I just need to get some testers from my own testing pool on there, because I do have a couple people that I know I've been asking to test something, so I want to get them on there before I do that. But I'm going to have 5 testers for the first test, and I just want you to know that this is where I'm going to start testing. So I did put the link in the chat, so you should be able to see that. So I'm really excited about it. And if you're not a test crocheter kind of person, that's okay. But for me, it's important to get at least, a few people who I can trust to go through the pattern, look, because I always test patterns after they're tech edited and charted. So you can check my charts, check the verbiage, make sure everything that should be there is there. I've had Queen of Hearts. If you tested Queen of Hearts, those of you who are here that might have tested Queen of Hearts for me, it's it's a lot of work. There was a lot of questions and a lot of things that we had to change, and even had to change a couple of the charts to make it as perfect as it could be. So that's why I do testers. And all my testers get a coupon for a free pattern if they do just a standalone pattern. But if they're doing part of a book, they'll get a coupon for 50% off the print book for being a tester. So that's a perk. And then also the other perk is that you get to keep the project that you made. You don't have to send it to me. The only thing I do ask is that when I'm ready to release the patterns or the book, that I am able to use some of your photos to do social media and promotion for the book or pattern. So there's that. Boy, I'm talking a lot. Anybody have any questions for me while I'm here? I mean, I'm glad to answer questions too. I don't have to do all the talking. I do have a couple other things I want to talk about, but just thought I'd throw that out there. Hopefully next week when I'm on here, I'll have more of a kind of how-to or more of a Q&A kind of thing going on. So just let me know if you've got anything. The other thing I'm doing is, and I don't want you guys to think I'm leaving YouTube or Instagram right now, but I'm trying out some other social media platforms. Just because with all the algorithms that Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and even YouTube right now, they're doing things that I've noticed, even though I have a small following, the algorithms don't allow my work to be seen. And as a crochet designer who's releasing books and releasing patterns, I want to be able to show my work, get some excitement going on. And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm looking into other social media platforms that are a little smaller, but have a crochet yarn base on them. And the first one I'm looking at is it's called Vero, V-E-R-O. I created, when they first came out, I created an account there, but I didn't have time to fuss with it. But in the last few days, a lot of the yarn dyers that I follow are making Vero accounts. So I went back and looked at it. And sure enough, I like their feed. It's kind of like Instagram. It's different in that they don't have any algorithms that choose what you get to see. If I post something, you see it in the order in your queue as I posted it with other people that you followed. So if you're interested in that, it's V-E-R-O. Let's see, hang on. Let me bring it up let me type in if you want to check it out. Okay. that's me on Vero. Just check it out. I mean, it's similar to Instagram. What I like about it is that they don't have any agendas. They don't have any algorithms that, you know, if you follow somebody, it means that you're interested in what they have to show you. I mean, there's a lot of yarn dyers out there that I follow because I want to know what their new yarns are. And they don't get put into my feed until like 3 days after their sale. So, you know, and that's unfortunate for me because I miss out on maybe something that I want to use for a project. And it's unfortunate for them because as a designer who's a recognized designer internationally, actually, you know, they could have had a yarn used in a project that a lot of eyes would have seen. So I'm just checking it out. But if you're interested in it, go ahead and follow me there. And just, you know, you can create, it's free, just like Instagram and everybody else. Oh, and the other thing I like about it, because I have been blocking ads like you would not believe. I've been getting weirdest ads, and it's like everything about homeownership lately. And I was like, really? It's like they're reading my mind. So I've been blocking ads all the time. And this site platform has no ads. So it's something to look at. Another thing I'm looking into is Rumble. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rumble, but it's a, what do you call it? It's again, alternative to YouTube. The only thing it doesn't do right now is allow you to do live streams. So I'm not leaving YouTube in any way, shape, or form right now because I'll be able to do my live streams. But I am looking at it for standalone video because I'm trying to find some way to host the videos, especially for my courses, in a different way than YouTube does. So I'm doing some research there and some recon there. You can search for me at as Karen Hooley or Karen Hooley Designs on Rumble. It's rumble.com. It's a little scaled down from YouTube, but I like some of the features they have as well, as far as how videos process and things like that. It makes more sense than YouTube. So so I'm doing that. So I just thought I'd mention those two because you might see them come up on my website or in my newsletters or things like that. So, and again, it's not that I'm leaving Instagram or YouTube right now. It's just, I need to find some other ways to get some marketing out there that's not being, I'm not at the mercy of algorithms, let's put it that way. So, and there's like Vero, for example, there's tons of dyers out there now, a ton of crocheters and knitters out there. So if you're interested in following some of those people, you might want to jump on there just to see what, you know, because there's a bunch of us that are trying to build a community out there, you know, because it is a better way to be seen because you're not on those algorithms. So, and I'm going to be a little more genuine on Vero. You'll see more of my life, my background, you know, my family, my cats. It's more authentic. You'll get to know me, the person, not just me, the designer. So, there's that. So that's pretty much what's going on behind the scenes. We are a little crazy. Oh, I should mention too, though, in December with my social media, I might be scaling way back. I've already made plans to literally deactivate, just, you know, because you can deactivate your Facebook page just for a short period of time, just because there is so much going on here, and my family seems to be very active right now on Facebook, and I need to be pulled away from some of the drama that's going on there. So I'm leaving my Facebook the way it is right now. I'm not posting on it. I'm not looking at it right now. I do have some queued up stuff for the end of the month, but that's it. So, but in December, I'm going to be deactivating it until January 1st, just so that I can be present for my own immediate family for the holidays and all the crazy that's going on in our lives right now with weddings and new houses. So just so you guys know, that's what I'm doing on Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, make sure you follow me somewhere else, or at least subscribe to my newsletter so that you can keep up to date with what's going on. Facebook is the one that I have to step away. It's just, I have to step away. There's too much drama. So, and it's not you guys. So just be warned, it's not you guys. So there's that. So that's pretty much it for me for the week. So I've got another 15 minutes I can hang out with you guys. So ask me questions. Tell me about what's going on. You know, we can chat about anything. So let me know what's going on. I'm going to drink some coffee because my voice is starting to go. Yep. Trying to think if there's anything else I can show you. Oh, I can show you one of the yarns that's in my next book. Yeah, no, you know, Linda, there's a part of me that wishes I never joined Facebook. And it's not, I mean, I love the groups that I'm in because a lot of my business groups and stuff are really good. But when it comes to the personal stuff, I'm just like so beyond. I need to get out of it. But this is one of the yarns that's going to be in my new book. This is actually the yarn for the project that's currently on the blocking board, and I can share about this one. This one is Tuscan Knits. She's actually a local to me. Well, she was local to me when I lived on the other side. Tuscan Knits yarn. It's her Fife yarn base. It's a fingering weight. It's 100% superwash merino. And the color is called Cloak and Dagger. And the video is not giving you a really good look. It's a really dark burgundy Merlot color. I mean, it's just beautiful. And it's what do you call it? It's a superwash merino. So there's no nylon or anything in it, but it's so soft. And at Tuscan Knits, the way she does her dyeing is that she does, it used to be every week she did a shop update. She's actually currently moving to, she just sold her house and she's moving to Montana, but currently living with some family while their house is being built in Montana. So her dyeing, her shop updates are not as often, but I highly recommend her yarns. Her yarns are beautiful. She has an amazing eye for color. And I'll put her name on here too. Let's see, it does. Let me make sure I spelled that right before I Tuscan Knits.com. Yep, there we go. Juanita, the stitch, no, it is not working through the V. It is, it's working in a specific loops that the single crochet creates, and that's how you get the stitch pattern. When I release the pattern for this, I'm also going to release a video of how to do this stitch. It's going to be part of the pattern, so be watching for that. It's not just working through the V's at all. Because if I was working through the V's, I would be able to do it in the round and get the look I want, but that's not what this is doing. So yeah. And I will be doing video on that. I used to have video on YouTube on that stitch, but my camera, it was back like 5 years ago when cameras weren't, phone cameras weren't that great, and it was very grainy, so I did take it off. So I'm going to be redoing that video with a different yarn and a bigger hook so that you can actually see how I do those stitches. The book I mentioned that it's in that I released from Annie is called Savvy Single Crochet. It's out of print, but it has all the stitches in there as well. But yeah, I will definitely be doing, I'm definitely going to try to up my video game in 2021. I think that's going to be mostly where my focus is. I'm planning to teach live classes as well online, and hopefully there's a couple events that I've pitched classes for that are planning to open for next year. Please. I really miss my crocheters. I really miss the live contact with my crocheters. So I'm hoping they will go. And then I'll be at events too. But you'll see me hopefully more with some static videos, my online courses that I'm going to be doing, and then just standalone video as well. I'm going to be, once I get my new studio, I'll have so much more room to do that. But I am going to try to do a few before the end of the year. I think I showed you guys last time the pot holder stitch that I still have the yarn here waiting for me to do that video, and that might be something I do this year. And the reversible crochet, yes, I know, and I'm planning to offer that in January. So as a live class. So I just have to figure out, as soon as I get the close date for the house, I can start scheduling classes for January. So bear with me for a little bit longer. So I know what's going on. Oh, and the other thing too that's really upset me is across the street from my house, my window that I have behind my computer screen here faces the street. And across the street from our house, there is an empty lot. And when we first moved into this rental, they told us that during the summer, they were going to start building a house over there. Well, that never happened. I was putting off doing some video work because they haven't started working. Well, guess what? They started Monday morning. Fortunately, today there's no one over there. They finished clearing the lands and they've graded it. So I'm fully expecting, though, at any moment, the foundation people will come over and start the footings and the foundation for the house. So like I was planning to do, I'm losing my voice, guys. I was planning to do some video work this week and Monday, Tuesday, and I couldn't do it because you could hear the beep, 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 So it was, yeah. So I mean, there'll be construction going on when we move in, but it's going to be farther down the road because the 7 houses around us are all being built at the same time. So by the time we move in, all of those, if they're not already under occupancy, all the work will be inside, except maybe painting. So it won't be so loud like it was earlier this week. So yeah. So also too, guys, with speaking of classes and live classes, there's a couple classes in my my listing of classes that I usually teach live that I can actually reduce down into like an hour and a half, like my Delta stitch. The radical reversible stitch is already reduced down to an hour and a half. And there's a few others that are in the like in the hour and a half time frame. Are you guys interested in shorter classes like that, or do you like the full-on 3 hours, take a break for 15 minutes in the middle, like we do in a live event? Or would you rather have just little bites of classes like that? I'd really like your input on that, those of you who are here. So let me know if that's something of interest, because there's a couple classes, especially my Delta lace class. I could completely reduce that down to an hour and a half, and you would learn everything I did in 3 hours. Because the 3 hour class, you started a project once you learn the bits and pieces. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And also my next newsletter will be going out next week. So if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, be watching for a little survey in there about days of the week that you would like to take classes, and days of the week and hours, morning or afternoon kind of thing. So be watching for that. Anything else, guys? I feel like I've done so much talking. I did that last time and I did this again this time. I'm like I said before, though, I'd like to get more education done in these lives as well. So it depends on how complex. So so there's certain classes that I have to do, like my my sock class that I just completed. That has to be a 6 hour class, no matter what we do. We just broke it down into 4 weeks of an hour and a half. because 6 hours all in one day for me, unless I'm teaching at a live event, it's difficult to do a 6-hour class online, in my opinion. I like to break it out a little bit more. So yeah, I know that's why you're one of the reasons why I'm sending out that survey, because I know there's a lot of people that do like weekends, and I am going to have to offer weekend classes, but I want to be able to offer some during the week too. So I want to get a good idea of where all my people are and what they want as far as classes are concerned. So, well, okay, guys, I'm going to sign off then, since there doesn't seem to be any questions. But I'm so glad you guys all joined me. I appreciate you being here. You guys have no idea how much I look forward to these Wednesday YouTubes. Even though I can't see you, being able to chat with you a little bit and talk crochet with people who want to hear about crochet. You know, my family's not always, oh, Mom, we don't understand what you're talking about anyway. So it's really nice to be able to chat with you guys. So, I'm going to sign off until next week. I hope to see you again next week, and take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.